Alright, yo, what's up everybody? So, missed trade today. Let me kind of get rid of this for a second. Oops. There we go. So, missed trade today. I thought it was pretty clear. Also thought the buys were pretty clear. Um, as well, once the buys came in. But yeah, let's just kind of break it down to show you what I was looking at today, coming into the day. So coming into the day, we were here. All right. So I was like, all right, cool, we're here. Clearly respected, the all-time highs. Very much a sweep of liquidity. So for me, I was looking at. Complete this one. I was looking at, okay, if this is the case, where can we come down to before we ultimately go up, right? And what came to mind was we had this low from London low. We had obviously the high. So I'm looking for anywhere below this 50%. That's where is my bread and butter. That's where I want to take a trade from. And I also see that we have this. We have this H1 FEG, which is where I'm expecting there to be some form of a reaction. So I don't really want to trade lower than that until I can see exactly what it is that price wants to do once we get into this area. So that's the main understanding of what's going on. We have the sweep of all-time highs, because we need some form of a pullback if we're closing like this. Where is it that we can pull back before ultimately going long? So on the 5 minute, you can clearly see we have these equal lows in here, which is right above or right at the H1 FEG. So I thought, okay, cool. That's going to be our first draw of liquidity and probably our actual draw for the day if it is that we are bullish. So how do I want to play this? Actually, looking at this on the 5 minute, and this is pretty clean. So coming down to the 1. All right. We have liquidity in this area. A lot of kind of engineered liquidity. Like so, you can see it. We have this push up. Then 930 smacks on. Boom. You get this. I'm like, all right, cool. How can I get in this? First inclination to get in was, let me change this to red so we know what we're looking at. Where's liquidity? There it is. My first inclination here was like, all right, boom, get in here off the order block. But I was also like, all right, let's be patient. Let's kind of wait it out and see what it is that we can get from a potential trade here. Push lower, push lower. We ultimately take out the low. So now I'm looking for, all right, cool. We need some form of a pullback. And we get that. We have a perfect FEG right in here. Right? This is beautiful stuff, to be quite honest. This was great price action. And on the live stream, I actually called this out pretty much word for word, bar for bar. Price comes back up into it. Gives us a tap. We push lower. From there, I'm like, oh shoot, am I even gonna be able to get anything? Luckily, price did push slightly lower, but we didn't close. It came right back up, and we push higher into this order block. Now you can see this very clearly on the 5 minute, which I didn't notice at the time. Over here, on the 5 minute, you can see our 5 minute order block just got tapped, and this could have been another entry, right? This is not the entry I was looking at, but it could have been another entry. You want to put that above the previous wick, and then we would be targeting down here like so, like that, something like that, right? Not the trade I was looking for, but you can see that that's the reaction from there. Don't think I mentioned that in the live stream. Oh, shucks, where are we? Right. So price does that. Then we get an inverse. All right, we got an FEG, we get an inverse. And I'm like, ooh, yes, this is perfect. But what happens? Price just pushes all the way down to my break even. And in that moment, you can hear me say, oh, damn, I hate trading. Or I hate this, or something like that, right? Mainly because I'm calling out where I want price to go. I'm calling out what price is doing. I'm calling out everything. But my entry criteria isn't there. And it was a very interesting lesson today because I did watch it back. It was a very interesting lesson today in my entry model works because of the rules I have set in place. If my rules are not breached and everything is golden, I should be able to get in. No questions asked. So, well, this is a break of my rule, right? So we broke my rule again. We broke my rule here. Boom. Rule broken. The moment we come below that, rule broken. So then I was just a matter of, all right, let's wait it out. What happens? So now we have a leg, a bearish leg. Well, now that I know where this is. Now we have a bearish leg that's essentially from here to here. And what do we have in this bearish leg? We don't have any order blocks. We don't have any FEGs. We only have really and truly an order block. And that's where I should have taken my trade. I know I said from October I'll be taking order block trades. Well, this is order block, propulsion block, however you want to call it. Didn't take it, mainly because I would kind of prefer for my first trade back from a break to be an inverse, because I'm extremely versed in inverse trades. But you can hear me saying this is a mistrade in the live stream. So the moment we come into this FEG, this or propulsion block, jeez, you can see this propulsion block pushes higher. We react to that FEG again. We get a nice push down. From the moment we close below here, which is the open of this propulsion block, that's the entry. And I call it out on the trade. I was like, this is the entry here. Stop above the high for the candle that breaks it, and target is going to be those equal lows over here. Those equal lows, but also the open of this FVG, and you can see that very clearly. 2 minutes, price was there, and that was all she wrote. That would have been a really good trade for me. So I look at that, and I kind of come back and I think to myself, self, you clearly know what you're doing. You clearly know where the draw is. You know what it is you're looking for. Why didn't you take that? And it came back to confidence, right? I think. And not wanting my first trade to be a loss or even a potential loss. But everything in this moment, right? We have the super liquidity. We have a very clear draw of liquidity. We have an area where it is price is more likely to reverse from, which is the target. Everything's pointing for us to get back down into that area before going back higher, right? And I didn't take it. So what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to be taking it 100%. And it's just a matter of, being true to myself, because I know that this is a trade that I need to take, and taking it. All right, and just taking it. Just take the trade, bro. It's fine. Just take it. So yeah, trusting myself a little bit more, right? The second one that I saw that I kind of went through was over here. It's like, okay, cool. Once this candle printed, I was like, all right, cool. We're bullish. We're bullish now. But for some reason, I didn't take this. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think I was getting ready to leave. I do know what it was. I said I was waiting for this to break. Right? Oh shucks, we did close above inverse. Right. I was looking for that to break. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the live stream again because something is amiss here. Which is, I didn't take this because it didn't break. I remember I pressed the button. I was like, oh shucks, am I gonna be able to get in this? In any case, this would have been maybe a break even, probably a break even trade. But in any case, I was like, yo, am I gonna be able to get in this? Like, because it didn't close above. I remember it closed inside, but it looks as though it did in fact close above, and I made the mistake. And it was like this. Usually my stop is below here, so this actually would have been a stop out. But the fact that I didn't take it is a bit concerning. It should have been something like that, and honestly, this is a manipulation. Very clear manipulation. So my first target should be this. Alright. Second target, easily the high. And that would have been the trade. And you can see, like, I mean, this thing really just ripped. This thing just freaking ripped. And this was a higher, looking back, on the hour chart, this is a higher time frame trade idea, right? And it's very clear on the H1 where it is price was wanted to go from there, right? So you have the ATH. Let's just look here on the right. So we had the low, push higher into the all-time highs, rejected it. We need to go somewhere to grab some form of liquidity and fair value. Price comes down into that FEG once, twice. We sweep it on the second time. That's our entry there, and from there we target the highs, right? And it's actually very clear on the 5 minute, really clear on the 5 minute, where we have that order block, we have that push up. What would have probably made the most sense is a trade like this, covering probably like that, first target, and ATH is the second target. That's probably the best thing we could have done. But it is what it is, and tomorrow will be something different. I'm constantly looking at revolutionizing the way in which I trade. I don't think I just need to trade on the 1 minute anymore. I think 5 minute is there as well. The 5 minute is there for different reasons, or different entry models on the 5 minute. So yeah, I'm kind of taking it one day at a time. I'm really trying to revolutionize the entry model. I think everything outside of the entry model is fine in terms of how I trade and my understanding. The entry model is not necessarily what needs to change, but things need to be added to it. Yeah, that's what I'd say. So I really and truly missed a trade today. The second one's not as easy. I think that's more of a mistake. But I do 100% think that first one was a miss. Was a miss. So yeah, that's the trade recap from today, the 6th of October.